Hello, everyone. Welcome to the market opening bell for Monday, May 26th. The Hang Seng Index rose for six consecutive weeks, closing at 23,601 points last Friday, up 256 points or 1.1% from the previous week. The H-share index closed at 8,583 points, up 1.4% week on week. The Hang Seng Tech Index closed at 5,246 points, down 0.7% week on week. Total market turnover last Friday was 203.6 billion Hong Kong dollars, with southbound funds recording a net outflow of 1.139 billion Hong Kong dollars compared to a net inflow of 3.88 billion Hong Kong dollars the previous day. Technical analysis: the Hang Seng Index has rebounded over 4,000 points from its April 9th low of 19,260 points, fully recovering losses since Trump's April 2nd announcement of reciprocal tariffs. Amid rising external uncertainties, breaking through 24,000 points may face resistance. The 10-day moving average is now near 23,600 points. A break below could see the index test 23,000 points, followed by support at the 20-day and 50-day moving averages, both around 22,800 points. The Shanghai Composite Index closed at 3,348 points last Friday, down 0.6% week on week. The Shenzhen Component Index closed at 10,132 points, down 0.5% week on week, following deposit rate cuts by major state-owned banks. The market interest rate pricing self-regulatory mechanism, guided by the People's Bank of China, reported lowering the ceiling on bank deposit rates, with some banks' fixed deposit rate caps reduced by 0.3 percentage points to 0.4 percentage points, exceeding prior reductions. This reflects efforts to protect banks' net interest margins, with domestic bank stocks showing strength recently. Miniso released its Q1 2025 earnings after the Hong Kong market closed last Friday. The report showed revenue growth but profit declines, raising market concerns. Its US listed shares fell 17.6% to 18.29 US dollars. Q1 revenue reached 4.427 billion yuan, up 18.9% year on year, beating expectations, but net profit dropped 28% to 417 million yuan, and adjusted net profit fell 4.8% to 587 million yuan. Revenue growth was driven by new store openings, with 7,768 stores globally as of March 31st, 2025, including 7,488 Miniso stores and 280 Top Toy stores, adding a net 978 stores year on year. Same-store sales in mainland China saw mid-single-digit declines. Miniso's CFO Zhang Jingjing said the company will focus on strategic markets like Europe and the US in coming years, primarily through directly operated stores. However, rapid expansion increases costs, pressuring profits. In Q1, sales, distribution, and general administrative expenses grew faster than revenue. Meituan will announce its earnings today, with Q1 total revenue expected to range from 85.253 billion yuan to 85.727 billion yuan, up 16.3% to 17% year on year. Q1 profit is forecast at 7.217 billion yuan to 8.462 billion yuan, up 34.4% to 57.6% from 5.369 billion yuan last year. Adjusted non-IFRS net profit is expected to be 9.04 billion yuan to 10.128 billion yuan, up 20.7% to 35.3% from 7.488 billion yuan last year. JD.com recently entered the food delivery and flash sale sectors, with JD delivery orders exceeding 20 million daily. Markets will focus on Meituan's management comments on industry competition, subsidies, pressures, new business ventures, example Meituan Youxuan, Xiaoxiang supermarket, and overseas expansion strategies, example Kita in the Middle East and Brazil, including subsidiary scales. In the US market, President Trump said trade talks with the EU are deadlocked, proposing a 50% tariff on the EU effective June 1st. Reignited trade warfares led to a low open and close for US stocks last Friday. The Dow Jones fell 256 points or 0.6% to 41,603 points. The S&P 500 dropped 39 points or 0.7% to 5,802 points, and the Nasdaq fell 188 points or 1% to 18,737 points. All three indexes fell over 2.4% for the week. The Nasdaq Golden Dragon China Index, reflecting Chinese concept stocks, closed at 7,195 points, up 3 points but down 194 points for the week. US tech stocks mostly weakened. Trump's 25% tariff proposal on non-US made iPhones hit Apple, which fell 3%. Amazon and Meta dropped over 1%, and Tesla fell 0.5%. Oracle announced a $40 billion Nvidia chip purchase for its OpenAI project, but Nvidia still fell 1.2%. Micron and Qualcomm each dropped over 1%. Trump approved the Nippon Steel and US Steel merger, boosting US Steel stock by 21% in late trading. Trump also signed an executive order to reform the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and accelerate US nuclear plant construction, driving surges in nuclear-related stocks like NuScale Power, Centrus Energy, Lightbridge, with gains around 20%. On US economic data, April new home sales rose 10.9% month-on-month to 743,000 units, beating expectations of 695,000 units, marking the largest increase since August 2022. Building permits for the period fell 4% month-on-month to 1.422 million units. This week, U.S. market focus includes Trump's tariff moves, tariff negotiation progress with other countries, and economic data such as the revised Q1 GDP, April core PCE price index, and the final May University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. The third focus is corporate earnings. This week, 14 U.S. companies will release earnings, with Nvidia drawing the most attention. Others include Salesforce, Dell, HP, Costco, Best Buy, Kohl's, and Macy's. As of May 22nd, 95.4% of S&P 500 companies had reported earnings, with 51.8% exceeding revenue expectations, averaging a 4.1% year-on-year increase. Additionally, 76.9% beat profit expectations, with an average year-on-year profit growth of 11.3%. Sectors like healthcare, communication services, utilities, and technology saw double-digit profit growth. Our stock pick today is JOINN Laboratories, stock code 6127. JOINN Laboratories primarily provides non-clinical research services, clinical trials, and related services, while also selling experimental models. The group holds GLP qualifications from China NMPA, US FDA, OECD, Korea, MFDS, Japan PMDA, and others. This diversified international certification system not only demonstrates the group's capabilities in quality management and research compliance, but also enhances its competitiveness in the global drug R&D field. The group actively expands its client base, with total orders in hand in 2024 amounting to approximately 2.2 billion yuan and signed orders worth about 1.84 billion yuan. Orders from overseas clients remained stable, with signed orders in 2024 totaling around 380 million yuan. The number of new project contracts continues to rise in areas such as anti-tumor drugs, autoimmune target drugs, metabolic system drugs, especially GLP-1 target drugs, PROTAC drugs, and central nervous system CNS drugs. leveraging its accumulated expertise in vivo and in vitro drug analysis. The number of new small nucleic acid projects has increased significantly, and innovative ADC project contracts have also seen notable growth. Relying on its one-stop service system from target discovery to clinical validation, the number of bispecific and multispecific antibody project contracts remains stable. New CGT drug projects, particularly iPSC cell lines, mRNA, viral vector drugs, and therapeutic vaccines, maintain steady growth. High difficulty animal experiments such as reproductive, carcinogenic, and long cycle studies continue to increase, reflecting the group's high quality, stable operations, which provide significant assurance and risk reduction for clients. In terms of capacity expansion, the 20,000 square meter phase 2 facility in Suzhou will gradually be put into use. The 22,000 square meter supporting facility in Suzhou has been completed and will be operational this year, supporting various operational needs. According to the group's strategic planning and business demands, the Guangzhou facility is currently undergoing final acceptance and will further enhance overall service scale and level upon commissioning. Guangxi Weimei is actively building a non-human primate model animal experiment business system, with related laboratory construction progressing steadily. Recommended buy price 11.1 Hong Kong dollars, target price $12.3, stop loss $10.5. I do not hold the above stock.